Hello, I'm David Scranton, and thank you for clicking this video. Yes, it's a new year with new changes coming for Social Security. And today we're talking about what these changes could mean for you and for your retirement plan. So now it's time to bring in today's guest, Mike Burleigh, the founder and president of Peak Capital Management, a retirement income store located in Stuart, Florida. Mike, always great to have you here.
Hey, thanks for having me, Dave. Good to see you.
So a couple things have changed, primarily the cost of living raise that we've seen this year, but most of Social Security has really stayed the same, has it not?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they got a COLA close to 6%, but the Part B Medicare premiums went up. So it's kind of a trade-off. They kind of give it to you in one hand, take it back on the other.
Yeah.
So it probably isn't going to make a big difference for most retirees who are collecting benefits at this point.
Yeah, Medicare Part B went up by over 14%. So you're right. Give us with this hand, take it back with the other. But how about, why else though? Why else is it that the way Social Security Administration calculates inflation is usually much different from the real rate of inflation that our clients actually feel in their wallets?
Well, yeah. I mean, they're not calculating the price of gasoline, food. There's certain things that are left out there. So it's not, it's not realistic for most people. The questions we get are, mainly today, is Social Security going to be there for me? That's a big concern for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Then the next question is, well, how much am I going to receive? And of course, that depends on, how much they paid into the system over their lifetime, and then what's the best time to apply. So it's a concern for a lot of pre-retirees. For most people, Social Security is going to amount to 40 to 60% of the retirement income. Yeah. I mean, the average person works 90,000 hours. So, when they're ready to turn these benefits on, you want to get the most you can out of the system.
Yeah, and think about it. So let's break down some of the things you said. How much are you going to get? Well, let's say the average benefit's $2,000 a month. That's $24,000 a year. How much money would someone have to have invested in a lump sum, generating a reasonable rate of interest or dividends, to replace that $2,000 a month?
$2,000 a month, $24,000 a year. I mean, you're going to need close to $700,000.
Yeah. So people realize the benefit of it. It's like the government giving you a check for $700,000 essentially, because that's how much you'd have to save and invest on your own in your 401k to replace that. But the difference is you have your 401k, you feel like it's your money. This question that you hinted toward a moment ago with Social Security is it going to be there at all? So are you worried about the future of Social Security? For some of your younger clients, is it going to be there? And if so, how might it be different?
Well, for most of your viewers who are baby boomers, probably not going to be an issue. The latest, best information we can get is they can pay out for another 12 years what's on the statements. And if anybody ever looked at their Social Security statements, these say estimated benefits, not guaranteed benefits.
True.
So according to Social Security, the Office of Chief Actuary, we've got 12 years, and then those payments or benefits are going to drop to 78%. Now, that's with no changes to the system if they don't shore up the system. They're looking at a number of things to do to shore up the system. Raise the retirement age is one. Also, maybe the COLAs for retirees are not going to be as strong as they were in the past. Right now, they cap the maximum income that you pay into the system at $147,000. So higher income earners are not paying in anything above that $147,000. Now your employer still does, but the income earners themselves are not. So we could see that change. So I would say for baby boomers, probably not a lot to worry about. I mean, some concern for our children, people in their 30s and 40s. I'd say all bets are off there.
So you said one of the questions they always have is how to take it in order with the goal of maximization. So because most things haven't changed about Social Security this year, most has stayed the same, do you find that people really understand how to take it, how to maximize it? Or is that still, even though it stayed the same over the years, relatively speaking, is that still a pretty significant source of confusion for most folks?
Yes, it is. Because when you think about it, there's a range. You can take Social Security as early as 62, or you can wait till 70. Yeah. Well, there's always a trade-off. If you take it early, you're going to get a 25% haircut, if you will, as opposed to if you would have waited till your full retirement age. Conversely, if you let it roll up after your full retirement age, you're going to get an 8% credit for 4 years. So some of you out there are doing the math, right? 25% haircut if I take it early, 32% if I wait. That's a 57% swing in benefits over your lifetime. Say you're a married couple, you could have 30 years. So now you can see where it can make a huge difference. We have some pretty sophisticated software that we use to run scenarios for people, and we found differences between $100,000 and $200,000 of lifetime benefit payouts, depending on how you access these benefits and at what age.
And it's more complicated, of course, when you are married, not just because you've got two decisions to make, but also because of the way the death benefits work, right? If one spouse dies, the other spouse might get a pay raise.
Well, when one spouse dies, the surviving spouse is going to step into the shoes of the deceased spouse, the higher benefit. But at the same time, you still lost an income in that household, right? Because you had two Social Security payments coming in. So there's still a lost income. So you have to be cognizant of the fact and plan for that to replace that through either retirement accounts or investment accounts down.
So essentially, you're planning for the person that you think is going to live the longest in many ways with that. And that's why investing for income, goes hand in hand in general. The beloved topic we always like to talk about, investing for the interest and dividends, right? Not necessarily capital gains, goes hand in hand with Social Security because, again, the lump sum equivalent of the Social Security benefit could be $500,000 to $1 million. So Social Security, does go hand in hand with this income concept, but it also does affect to some degree which option you might take in Social Security, when you take your option, and those various factors, correct?
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to take Social Security early, you're going to have to supplement that with other income. If you start with a liquidation method, let's say out of a stock portfolio, maybe the best you could do is 2% today without running out of money, right? 2%, it really isn't that attractive, and it's probably not going to be enough to supplement if you take it early.
Yeah, and if you take it late, the opposite's true. If you take it late and you take it at age 70, but you want to retire at 65, you might have a 5-year period where you've got to fill that gap, which means your investments have to be allocated in such a way that you can go in and take principal for a few years without doing too much damage to your portfolio if you get stuck in a market downturn, right?
Well, yeah, ideally, if you could, pull, say, a 3 to 4% dividend on a stock portfolio, maybe you'll have to liquidate a little principal, but it wouldn't be terrible, and plus you got that 8% roll up for 4 years. Where can you get an 8% guaranteed raise for the next 4 years, right? Yeah,
no kidding. If we can give our clients CDs guaranteed to make 8% a year, everyone would be jumping at it. We wouldn't have any left. Final thoughts about why it's so important to do the Social Security maximization planning several years before retirement.
Well, you have to plan for this. I mean, hope isn't a strategy, right? You can't just sit around and hope things work out. You have to put a plan together. Usually, I would say 5 to 10 years prior to your retirement. And at least you have a track to run on at that point.
Yep, makes sense. Don't wait till the last minute. Just like tax time, you may be able to wait till April 14th to get your taxes done, but don't wait for last minute to plan how you're going to take Social Security. Mike Burleigh, as usual, our pleasure. Thank you for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me, Dave. Great.
Thank you for watching today's video, Social Security, What's New in 2022. If you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up button to give us a like, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel for new content each and every week.